This is a special report from About Space Today.
It's been seen from space, and the news is alarming. Africa is splitting into two as a new ocean forms, and you can see it from space, but not just right now. About Space Today has found a credible source with a report you don't want to miss, especially if you are a geologist and you have not heard this story. Next, as America and the world is listening to About Space Today. D&D Cruise and Tours is the official agent for About Space, and we invite you to come fly away to all-inclusive resort island destinations, or a cruise vacation from Port Canaveral, and even visit the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, or just come and see the parks. Call for a discount cruise or an island getaway or the Florida beaches. Call today. The call is free, and so are our services. Call 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. We are Florida's group travel specialists. Welcome back. I don't ever remember hearing a report on any of the major national U.S. news channels about what is happening to Africa. But the famous channel may have just gotten the attention of the world.
Imagine a world where you grew up and know, and at the same time familiar with all the continents. And then all of a sudden, the continent you live in starts to split into two separate continents, and a new ocean is formed in between. This is not a bedtime story, nor is it a work of fiction. This is a geological event that is actually happening right before our eyes on the continent of Africa. A new ocean is being formed in Africa. Let us travel to East Africa, to the country of Kenya, where one part of the Great Rift Valley is found. Scientists have been doing exploration activities in this area, and it was discovered that Kenya is slowly and gradually splitting at the Rift Valley. Geologists confirmed this and stated that the continent of Africa, as we know, will soon become two separate continents with an ocean in between. This is actually something that started a long time ago, as far back as 2005, but geologists were unsure. It started in the Ethiopian desert with the 35 miles long rift, which is the origin of the new ocean. According to the Geophysical Research Letters Journal, recent studies brought together seismic data from the evolution of the rift, and it clearly showed that it is caused by similar processes found on the ocean floor. The African and Arabian tectonic plates have been gradually moving apart from each other for about 30 million years. These movements are what resulted in the division and the creation of the Red Sea. It is something that takes a very long time to happen. It usually splits about a fraction of an inch every year. But this one is happening too fast. Geologists that have been studying Africa's tectonic plates have confirmed that Africa's 54 countries are being divided and will soon have two motherlands. The East African Rift passes across Mozambique from northern Ethiopia and separates countries like Kenya and Tanzania from the rest of the continent. In a new study in the Nature Journal, it has been discovered that the two pieces of land are moving apart at a rate of about 7 millimeters a year, and in the nearest future, countries like Zambia and Uganda will have their own coastlines. At the intersection of the Nubian, Somali, and Arabian tectonic plates, the Afar region is home to a triple junction. They all converge beside Djibouti and Eritrea, forming a massive Y on the Earth's surface. It has a southern opening that extends more than 6,000 kilometers into the heart of Africa at the Great Rift Valley. The Sinai Peninsula is where the Red Sea extends to the northwest, and to the east stretches an oceanic spreading ridge known as the Aden Ridge. This tectonic twist signifies that the African continent is tearing itself apart. The Somali Plate, which is part of eastern Africa, has been peeling away from the rest of the continent for 30 years now, thereby creating the Rift Valley, which begins in Ethiopia and Eritrea, separating around the Kenyan Dome until it meets again in the Malawi Rift. Records show that the Earth's formation has been put at 4.5 billion years ago by geologists, after which comes the continental crust 3.2 billion years ago, and then the continental shelf, which began forming when the melting rocks underneath the Earth's surface pushed through the columns onto the Earth, resulting to the supercontinent. It is said tectonic plates are in a state of flux, with some moving against each other along fault zones.
And let's not forget one of the most famous of all, the San Andreas Fault Line in California. Well, check out our Facebook page, AboutSpace.today, for launches and landings, and invite your family and friends to listen weekly. And to all our listeners around the globe and here in the U.S., thanks for joining me. I'm David Denault.
This has been a special report from About Space Today.